Dreams can save your life. On today's show, we prove it. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and you on your physical earth journey. And like we said at the outset, sometimes that communication is screaming at you, telling you what you need to do to stay on the planet because something you're doing is not very good for you. Through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the powers that you have, what makes you magnificent or would make you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. But these bumps are not in the way, they are the way. To get your dream analysed on our show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast, fill in the form there, or simply email radioshow@dream-analysis.com. And everybody who writes to the show gets a response. Sandy, anything to start with?
Well, our next thing starting in April is we're going to have workshops that are going to lead up to our May summit. So everybody, hang on. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll get to hear more about that in the future. But I wanted to let you know to keep your eyes open because April is starting, and the first week of April, we're going to have them.
Very good. Our May summit, Sandy glossed over it, but it's a huge event. It's a 3-day event. If you like this show, you will love the summit. We talk about all sorts of things, dreams, but we do it with lessons. We want you to go away from the weekend just going, I can't believe what I learned. And you will go away from the weekend saying that. A whole 3 days. And then we have an exciting lead up to it. We have 3 special events, workshops, where we talk about various different subjects. And if you want to get invited to that, and it's free to go, but if you want to get an invitation to that, get on our list. Go to dream-analysis.com and just simply download my free dictionary. The dictionary is based on decades and decades of work in interpreting dreams. All real dreams have led to the symbols that are in the dictionary. And you can get that for free, but it puts you on the list. And so you'll get notified when we're doing the workshops and when we're doing the summit itself. And the workshops are something you have to attend live. That's it. If you attend them, you see them. And if you don't, then you can enjoy the summit. We will have recordings of the summit, but not the workshops. All right, Sandy, we're going to start off because we said this show is all about how dreams attempt to save your life. So tell us, were you doing anything crazy and how did it come about?
Well, I had just saw my naturopath, who I absolutely love, and she was doing all the lab work, and there was something that she thought, this one herbal supplement will aid you in helping help your body be strong and all of this. And so I said, okay, sure, I'll try that. And then I had a very interesting dream and I stopped taking it immediately.
Oh, I think you jumped the gun there. You didn't stop taking it immediately. Perhaps you tell us the dream and I'll fix your memory.
Alrighty. The title of the dream is The Green Tower Collapses. I am joining a group of people on a grassy mound where we are getting in lines like in a marching band. We are all dressed in some kind of uniform, non-military, almost like workout clothes. We're facing the town, and there is a big building with a large tower that looks like a grain tower. It is made of red brick and has windows on the tower and on the building. I have Kay Coleman on my right, and I'm talking with her, and there are other people I know all around me in the lines. We're about the 3rd row back. There is a helicopter reporting the event, and it starts to crash. It hits the tower, and the tower collapses as it goes through it. I heard someone say they almost got Martha, and this will be the 3rd attempt on her life. Thought that was interesting, as I didn't see her there. And then when the news report went out, it said that Martha would be upset over the tower being destroyed, how she's always worried about that. I thought that was strange coming across the news broadcast. Anyways, we ran to look at the helicopter. The pilot was dead, but the reporter controlling the cameras and everything in the back of the helicopter was fine. Definitely he was shook up, but fine. I woke up and I knew that Michael and the Colemans were somewhere in the crowd, but I never saw them. And that's it.
All right.
Okay, Michael, what does that dream try to tell me?
Well, here's how it happens for me, people, just so you know. When Sandy has a bad dream, do you know how long it takes me to know she has a bad dream? Just a mere seconds. She will wake me up right after she wakes up in the middle of the night because of her bad dream to say, I had a bad dream. Are you awake? And have I ever analyzed? Maybe I have. Maybe I've accidentally analyzed one for you in the middle of the night. But anyway, I said to her, tell me it again when I'm awake. And so she tried to tell me when we got up. And I had a client. I was like, okay, I'll send it to me. I'll analyze it between clients, which I did. Now, we didn't know what it was about yet because I hadn't analyzed it. But what is interesting is straight away, now that we look at the dream, we see the Colemans. And she's got a friend here called Kate Coleman. I'm from Ireland. And my sister married a guy called Coleman. So we have two different Colemans. Now, they always show up in dreams that are about the colon. And it's just a pun. It's a poor dad pun that dreams have. But we know that's what it's going to be about. And then we see other things in the dream, like right at the start, joining a group, they were getting in lines. Then she says later on, there was other people I know all around me in the lines. So the emphasis on the lines, queuing up in lines, is always about the elimination system as well. Now, that's okay. We see the grain silo as well, the grain tower. And so we know, okay, it's something to do with food. So something Sandy is eating is potentially going to cause problems to her digestive/elimination system. And we don't know what it is yet. So when I looked at the dream, I asked Sandy, what have you changed? What are you taking? And I'll let you take it from here, Sandy, with the truth this time.
Well, I had started taking these little pills. They're white and they come in a white bottle. And like I said, they were just an herbal supplement. And I was on my third day of taking them. And I thought it was interesting. There's three, like two times in this dream. Third row back and third attempt on her life.
Yeah. So you're everything in your dream, people. So this is Sandy's third attempt at taking her own life by taking this pill that is supposed to improve her health. Was it?
Yes.
Was it cyanide, Sandy? Does your naturopath like you?
She does, and no, it wasn't that. But I don't remember what it was called because I instantly got rid of it. But this is where it gets interesting, because you did the dream in the middle of the day. I took another pill without realizing that it had was impacting me really badly, and so that next night I dreamed I was in a car with snow everywhere, and there was a cougar that was chasing a very healthy deer and trying to capture it. And in the end of the dream, the cougar got it. So
yeah, not
there
good.
you go.
Yeah, when we see predators in a dream killing innocent animals, let's innocent, or we know it's part of the cycle of life in nature, but we don't want to have those dreams. Definitely. So again, another dream pointing out, look, there's a serious threat to your life. Now, dreams warn us well in advance, at least. In this case, it would have taken some time for any physical symptoms to manifest. And the way we know that it worked, the way we know, of course, I channeled to see what it was. You said what you were taking, and she had given you a few supplements because this is like, hey, this is great. Yearly checkup, whatever it is, let's do these things. They're going to make you feel a million times better. And I think you had 3 different things, and it was like, okay, it's that one. And when you stopped taking that one, that was it. End of the dreams.
No more dreams.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Now, I want to know what you mean by everything in the back of the helicopter was fine.
well, the problem is in the elimination system. So the back of the helicopter being emphasized is not surprising. Of course, we see the pilot dead, so it's like, this is serious. You can't really ignore it, which is the whole point of the dream. Don't ignore it, But ultimately, everything's going to be fine, and it is fine. And it's interesting how dreams are. When you stop doing the thing, there's no celebration. There's no like, oh, thank God you did that. It's like, let's move on to the next thing. What else can we complain about? Almost. I'm saying that jokingly. But of course, dreams guide us and also help us heal. But so they're not going to waste anything to say, here's something you did and it's great. They're just going to immediately say, here's another way to make your life better.
I like that. And yes, that was, I knew it was a bad dream. And yes, Michael did get woken up in the middle of the night. But Yeah. At least I got it analyzed. Thank you, love.
Yeah, I felt really bad because by the time I'd analyzed it, you'd taken another pill. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, this is not good. But yeah, that was on me.
So to keep this theme going, and what really sparked it is an adventure that Heidi had this last week. And so we have invited her onto the show, and she's going to share her dream and what has happened with her this week.
All right, Heidi, welcome back to the show. For those people who do not know, and I can't imagine there's many, Heidi used to be a co-host on the show for quite a long time. You'll find all her episodes back in the archive. But Heidi, you had a crazy event. Do you want to tell us it in story form? And of course, we're going to link it into dreams because this was just so amazing.
Yeah, well, I'll leave the dream part up to you. But yeah, so recently I had a pretty major surgery. It was elective, but necessary for, to help me with some chronic back pain that have been having for a long, long time. And, ultimately the surgery went really well. I'm very happy. The pain is already gone, which is amazing because it's just been a month now. So I'm very happy with it. But as part of the post-surgery process, I was prescribed medication to prevent against infection. And I took that medication for quite a while and I was fine. No symptoms, nothing going on. And then I got really, really sick and I couldn't figure out what was going on. At first I thought, oh, maybe I do have an infection. Maybe this is, post-surgery infection, which could be very serious. I was pretty worried about that. But then there was a lot of us in the family actually who had the flu recently. So I was also like, well, this could be the flu. I had the typical, the body aches. I had a really high fever, which I don't know, maybe that is or isn't a normal part of the flu. Like my fever was up to 103.7. I think that's the highest fever I've ever had in my life. Definitely felt it in my body, Um, and I was just sweating, couldn't keep drink down. It was just, I was just really, really sick. Um, but about 4 days before I had this fever, I kept having these, I was having crazy dreams. Like everybody will tell you when you're sick, or when you're leading up to sick, you can have crazy dreams, right? But I was having crazy dreams, but there was one little snippet of a dream that was inserted into each night when I was sleeping. And it was just really, really short. And I was going to write it down for you, Michael. And then I decided against it because I don't even know if I get 2 full sentences. But the dream is I was in my kitchen, as it is now, next to the sink, where I have a sink in my kitchen. There's the sink on the right, and then I have a microwave on the left, and in between, in that space, it's like a triangle type of kitchen space. I have my toaster and all my toasting making supplies like bread, butter, etc. And in the dream, I was going in and I was like, oh, look, here's another toaster. Put a toaster on. Top of the existing toaster. And that was it. That was the dream. But then the very next night, I had another dream. Same exact dream, except for, oh, look, there's 2 toasters. Here's another toaster. Let's just put this third toaster on top of the, stack the toaster. And then, and then I'd go off and have other dreams or whatever. And it was a very knowing conclusion to that. Okay, that was the end of that dream. And then, and I distinctly remember at least 4 of those. And in my dream, I had 5 toasters, which makes sense because I have 1 in reality and there was 4 additional. So I had stacked 5 and they're black, mind you. Probably isn't a good thing if you follow this show. I don't even, it's not a good thing symbol to see that color alone. And I knew the toaster itself was not necessarily a good symbol, but I thought I was okay because I wasn't making toast. And I was a little worried about it, so I didn't tell you till afterwards. After everything that was said and done and what happened, which I'll get into.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, of course.
When did the dream start? Because at this point, we know it was the result of the medication. You've kind of teed that up.
Yeah.
When did the dream start? You started taking the medication. You have the surgery. You have the medication, which is just an antibiotic. But here's something that's important for the viewers to know. You have an allergy to antibiotics, correct?
I do, but I didn't know I had an allergy to this one. And I did bring it up to my doctor, not faulting my doctor. It was the risks outweighed the cons, as he says. But turns out
He was wrong.
that was a problem. That was a problem.
So you said, and afterwards you said, okay, I knew the toasters were bad. But the other thing you said to me was, when I said, well, where were the toasters? Were they like in your kitchen? And you said, yes, they were right under my medicine cabinet.
Oh yeah. The cabinet that's right above that where I keep my toaster. I store my medicines just so the kids don't get into it, and to keep it away from them. So yeah, so the toaster is directly under where I keep all my medicine, including that antibiotic that I was taking.
And you thought that it was okay because you weren't making toast, because you knew from the show that toast is a bad thing. It's like exiting the planet. I am toast. I'm on my way out. But you're thinking, because I'm not making toast in the toaster, I'm okay. It's any reference of toast. But now we know. But you knew it was bad. And you said,
expert.
I'm not going to tell Michael.
Well, I was like, I'll figure this out now. This can't. And then I was also trying to, in my own mind, rationalize. I'm really sick. I must have the flu, or whatever it is. And so it's telling me to try and make myself better. So, but I knew I was paranoid to tell you, because I was like, okay, I know that analysis of that's probably not going to be fun.
Yeah, and I like the text you sent me on Sunday. You sent me a text going, nothing urgent, but call me when you get a chance. And I'm like, nothing urgent.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to panic anyone.
Another part that's interesting is, though, you had the dreams about the toasters before you had any physical symptoms. So I think you said you weren't 100% sure, but definitely by day 3, you started having the dreams about the toasters. And then you had
day 3 into taking the antibiotic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then day 4, another toaster. Day 5, another toaster. You still hadn't any symptoms. You had no temperature, you had no rash, etc.
Just the dream.
So the dreams predated the issue, like the warning. So what happened after that anyway?
Well, interestingly, the fourth or dream or so that I had, there was no more room to stack another toaster. It had reached the medicine cabinet.
Not good.
But I actually, it was like the flip of a switch. That's actually when I started getting really, really sick. The high fever, me thinking I had, I must have the flu. This is really bad. Just laying in bed, couldn't really do anything. And then a couple of hours later, I just erupted into it. And if anybody's ever had an antibiotic rash or, a drug reaction, they probably experienced this. But the rash that happens, and but for me, it started on my chest, but within like a couple of hours, it was all over my body, blistering in some places, shedding in some places. And it was pretty painful. And I knew at that point, not least of all because my daughter Sadie looked at me and grimaced and was like, you don't look good, that something was really wrong. And I had put it together slightly, and you have to keep in mind I wasn't even thinking properly at this point. I was really dehydrated and just not in my right mind. But I was like, maybe I shouldn't take my antibiotic. But I have to tell you, there was only one pill left anyway. So I just didn't take it. I went back to bed. I still feeling really achy, really like the flu, etc. Which, as I learned as well, are symptoms of that drug reaction that you can have. So, I went back to bed, and then I woke up in the morning, and my lips. I had that final dream. Then the one where there's no room to stack another toaster. And I woke up in my lips and my right side of my face was very, very swollen. And I didn't say a word to any of you because I was just like, I was just tunnel vision. I got to get to the hospital and make it there. There's one 5 minutes down the road. And so that's what I did. And that was a story in itself. But I'll tell you, I've never been to the hospital where they take one look at you and you're immediately in a room. And they took care of me, and the doctors and everyone there was great. And they knew pretty straight away it was some sort of reaction or allergy. But with the drug reaction. They did every test under the sun, and my body wasn't doing really good. It turns out my EKG was abnormal. My kidneys I only have one kidney, and it wasn't working well at all. They were pretty concerned about that. But it did get to a pretty scary point. Like they were saying, if I didn't come in and I didn't get, the IVs and the 15 plus different medications and the steroids that they gave me, that, I would have been toast. My heart wasn't even, there was the very low voltage. It was completely abnormal. I was super dehydrated, and my kidney, because I only have one, just wasn't working the way it should be. Thankfully, everything's, good now. but yeah, that would have been the end of it.
So the point of this segment is how we say it all the time, how your dreams warn you about issues, warn you about health issues and so on. And this is the perfect example of it. How a dream was telling you in advance, before anything got as serious as it got, that what you were taking was causing you a problem. And the toasters stacking up were saying that the effect of taking that drug is cumulative. And we know that that is a thing about allergies to amoxicillin and penicillin and other things like that. Your body builds up a way of fighting it, even though it shouldn't. And the next time you take it, it's like, if you were ever to take that pill again, it would be like, okay, we're full force out attacking this drug and attacking you at the same time. The toaster stacking is all that. And then running out of space. That's not good at all. It's like, where am I going to put this other toaster? Like, you don't want to get to that point in any dream. But what I find horrific is you knew these dreams were bad. You didn't tell us anything about the dreams until after you got out of the hospital.
Yeah. Because you called me to take Sadie to school. I took her to school and you didn't even tell me what was going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't ever really have a problem asking for help like that at all. And I know I still wasn't looking at it that way, but I didn't want to freak anyone out. I was pretty freaked out as well. I mean, the dream, I was like, oh my God, can I just not have that dream? Like, that is the worst dream. There's a couple of dreams, growing up with you, Michael, and Sunny, and listening to the show as well. It's like there's a couple of things I just never want to see in my dreams, and if I do, I'm immediately get the phone and I'm, oh my God, I had a steak in my dream, and can you what am I eating? But no, this was yeah, it just definitely made me nervous, and I don't know. I just wanted to figure it out, and I'm glad I did. Glad it's not, I mean, it was serious and it was pretty urgent, but yeah, I'll definitely be paying attention to that type of dream in the future.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in and telling us what you went through. And then all the things in the dream all stack up. It was something you were eating, you were ingesting, so it's in the kitchen. It was killing you. So all the toasters are like slowly killing you. So the toasters are being stacked up. And it was even where the location was, would have been under the medicine cabinet, is telling you about a medicine. And we see this all the time. If somebody changes their diet or they make a change and dreams are dramatically changed, you look at the change. What did I just recently change? Even if you didn't know anything else, it's like you could just look at your life and say, what's different? And in your case, obviously the medications were. And then I find that the last thing was you said, what I found scary was they said, okay, that one drug nearly killed you, but these 15 that we're giving you to counteract it, they'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I know. Now I have more medicine in my medicine cabinet, but I haven't had any more dreams with the toaster, so I'll be looking for that.
I'm sure you will, and you won't ignore them the next time. We have a little bit of time, and you have another really short one you can share.
One health dream that I always think of when we're talking about these types of dreams is when my son, Billy, your grandson, was about 6 or 7. He was telling me a dream, which was not something he actually normally does. And he told me he was like the size of a bee or a fly or something. And he was flying around and he got trapped in a flower. And I'm like, oh. And I said, what do you think that means? And he goes, I shouldn't eat flour. I shouldn't eat bread. It's like, what? I did. It's funny because I would have never put that together, but then I'm not the expert. But for him so young to have that realization and that connection of he was eating too much flour. I think the day before it was one of the kids' birthday and we were eating, I let him eat the leftover cupcake mix or something.
And what's interesting though is he had a gluten intolerance, but you caught it early on,
Yeah.
and so he's not really bad with it now. But it's
Yeah.
interesting how he knew this himself at a young age, and we will at a younger age we're going to be better. But also, he was the first to tell you, I don't think you should be taking those medicines.
Yeah, that's true. He came with me when I was picking them up at the pharmacy. So we did the grocery shopping, and I asked him to hold the prescription bag from the pharmacy because he was sitting in the front seat, and he's like, "What is this?" And he's holding it up, and he's saying quite sternly to me, he's like, "You are not supposed to be taking this." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Why?" And he goes, "I don't think it's good for you. I really don't think you should be taking it." And it was just so odd. Obviously, I didn't listen to him. But afterwards, when he found out that I had the drug reaction to it, and how the delayed drug reaction, which is worse, um, he he got mad at me again. He's like, "I told you you shouldn't be taking that." So
It is funny. He has that.
yeah.
He'll probably be working on our show at some point. All right, Heidi, thanks a lot. We'll let you go.
All right, bye.
Wow, that was quite a scary story that Heidi showed. We are now going to move forward and see what Nicole has to say for this week. So, welcome, Nicole.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, Michael. Today from the radio show Mailbag, we're going to talk about money and dreams. Typically, because money circulates in the economy, it represents our circulatory system. In the US, of course, money is even green, so it kind of supports that heart chakra feel, right? So, if we dream of our wallet being stolen, this might reflect that we have an issue sharing our emotions. Sometimes money can represent energy in dreams, as in the case of a dreamer who's been sick for a while and dreams of winning the lottery. This is a reflection of energy coming back online. Occasionally, money in dreams can just represent plain old money, as in the case of a dreamer who dreams of consistently winning money or being able to command money over time. This is a reflection of perhaps a paradigm that has in the past prevented the dreamer from earning money, and the dream is working to heal that. It's saying, hey, look, you can make money, you can earn money. We're doing it in the dream. Let's do it in waking life too. So with that, I'll send it back to you, Sandy.
That's it. That's our show. Have a fabulous week.